All right, hello everyone. My name is Professor Derek Anderson, and I will be going over drafting, organizing, and finishing academic essays. So hopefully everyone's ready to get started. We'll take this step by step. So let's get started. All right, we're going to get started. So first thing to remember is don't procrastinate. Create a schedule. Don't put off what you can do today, tomorrow. Is what I like to say. You want to stick to your schedule and you want to give yourself time to edit and revise your work. Okay, so be realistic as you create a schedule. Make sure that you have balanced your academic work, your professional responsibilities, in addition to your um, your personal life as well. So you want to make sure all three of those are on your schedule in order to maximize your performance. Okay, we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, so the first step is to organize your notes. You want to determine what information you want to include. In addition to what is it that you want your audience to be aware of? What are you trying to show your audience? What do you need them to know? Okay, and then you want to determine where in your essay to insert your data. Will it be in the beginning, the middle, or the end? Also, let go. Determine what information is interesting but irrelevant. So you want to have as much interesting information as possible, and you want to alleviate parts of your essay that is irrelevant, facts that don't need to be mentioned, that maybe can be implied or directly stated within your writing. Additionally, you want to create an outline for a list of items in order you want to present them. So I suggest creating an outline and labeling your details and topic sentence and supporting facts in order. That way your paper can flow in the order in which you've completed your outline. Okay, so we're moving to step two, which is choose an organizational pattern. Basically, you want to ask yourself, what is the best way to present my information? Okay, there are several ideas. Several patterns that we'll go over today. First is chronologically. This actually is telling a story or order of events. Okay, so if you're telling a story from start to finish, you have certain items and specifics that need to be in order for your audience to be able to comprehend what you're actually trying to convey to them. Okay, next you have a problem and solution. So you may want to start out stating your problem in the beginning of your writing and then transitioning over to how you're coming up with a solution. Okay. Then you also have cause and consequences. I like to call this cause and effect. So earlier on in your writing, you want to, I guess, go over the cause and what the actual issue is or what's going on, and then how was it affected? How did you get there? So as you transition, what are the consequences of that actual cause? Okay, and then you also have a general idea, which transitions to a specific idea. So when you're writing, maybe you want to start out a topic that's very general, and as you progress in your writing, you'll want to get more specific as possible to give more detail for your reader. Okay. Additionally, you another pattern that can be used is weakest claim, then transitions to strongest claim. So maybe you want to start out with a not as much detail in the beginning, and as you continue, you go to the strongest claim, and gets more detailed and descriptive as you continue to write. And then last but not least is by claims. You have claim one, claim two, claim three. Maybe you want in your writing to um, have three subtopics, okay? And then you addressed all of them in each claim, okay? So you can separate them as well. I hope that make you guys understand all of these. And you also can go back and rewatch this video as much as you like for better understanding. I'll go ahead and transition to the next slide. Okay, step three, you're going to begin to write. Okay, you want to begin to write and get started. Okay. Okay, so next we will move on to step four, and That is, have a thesis statement. You want to ask yourself, what's the purpose of your essay? What's the purpose? Who is your audience? What do you want your reader to feel, believe, or do after he or she finishes reading your essay? Okay. Um, the answer to this question will help you draft your thesis statement. You want to remember a thesis statement is an argument or claim, not a fact. Okay. So if you going back to the two questions again, what is the purpose of your essay and what is your audience? That will help you build your thesis. What do you want your audience to know? What do you want them to believe after they finish reading your essay? What is your purpose for informing them of the information? What are you trying to get them to know? Okay. Okay, so next we'll move on to step 5, which is check those paragraphs. Does each paragraph support the main idea? If it's a yes, keep it. If it's a no, revise and delete it. Read each paragraph and ask for the following questions. Is this paragraph about a single idea? If it's a yes, keep it. If it's a no, read the paragraph and determine how many ideas are fused together. Separate those ideas by creating multiple paragraphs. Remember, one paragraph equals one single idea. Okay, so that way you can, this makes it sound a little bit easier. Again, one paragraph equals one single idea. And again, read the paragraph and determine how many ideas are fused together. Separate those ideas by creating multiple paragraphs. Okay, so that's going to help you with the overall flow of your writing, and then the reader will also be able to comprehend better because the writing flows a lot better, and they're able to comprehend what you're actually trying to get them to know. Okay, so next we're going to do is continue the questions here. Does each paragraph have a topic sentence? If it's a yes, you're going to keep it. If the answer to this question is no, you're going to read each paragraph and determine its main idea and write a topic sentence. Okay? If next question you're going to ask yourself, is the paragraph where I want it to be? Does this information fit better earlier, later in the essay? Okay? So if it's a yes, you'll keep it. If it's a no, you'll move the paragraph to the most logical place within your essay. Okay? So again, um, you want to make sure that your information and the details fit exactly where it's actually supposed to go within the writing. Okay, so again, keep asking yourself, is the paragraph where I want it to be? Does this information fit better earlier or later in the essay? Okay, so sometimes you can write a great essay and it flows great. Then you rewrite it, then you read it to review it, and you say, you know what, my body paragraph 2 can actually be 3, and body paragraph 3 can actually be 2, the second paragraph. So it's important to, read over your work after you finish just to make sure it flows properly. Again, as you read, ask yourself, if I was the audience, am I am I gaining all the knowledge from reading this? Is my audience getting all the information that I want them to receive? Okay, that will help you in locating the logical place in your essay for the paragraph. Okay. Okay, so step 6 is transitions. You want to add transitions within your paragraphs and between paragraphs. They'll help your reader navigate your paper. Okay, and you also want to remember your paragraph should not read as a list of data and observations. Make sure that the information is connected. Okay, so again, this is all about flow and transitioning from one thought to another or one fact to another. Okay, so I love to travel because it gives me an opportunity to see the world in different cultures. Then I can go into something and say, additionally, it provides me with great experience to meet other people. Moreover, it allows me dot dot dot. So you want to transition, um, you know, from sentence to sentence, or from thought to thought in order to carry over the next thought, so your writer actually knows what's the next step that's coming. Okay. So step 7 is your introductions. You want to check your introduction to make sure it matches the body of your essay. You want to check the thesis statement as well. So introductions have a hook, a surprising fact or statistic, a good example, a description of an anecdote, a question, or a quote. Okay? So again, your introduction should have a hook. Okay? So your introduction is a paragraph in the beginning of your writing. And like I said, again, we'll go over it one more time. It's a supporting fact or statistic, a good example, a description of an anecdote, a question, or a quote. Okay. Okay, so step 8 is your conclusion. You want to remind your readers of your thesis statement without copy and pasting it. As I like to say, paraphrase. You want to basically restate your thesis statement within your conclusion, but you want to paraphrase it. So basically, just make sure that it's not word for word. Your thesis statement in your introduction paragraph should not be exactly the same word for word in your conclusion. Okay, you just want to paraphrase and restate the thesis, but not word for word. Okay. Additionally, you may also do one or more of the following. You can summarize your key ideas. You can discuss the significance of your topical claims. Additionally, you can propose a follow-up or course of action. Okay. All this is within your conclusion of your paragraph. So after you restate your thesis and after you paraphrase your thesis, you're going to go into summarizing the key ideas. You want to discuss the significance of your topic and claims, and you want to propose a follow-up or a course of action. Okay, so what are next steps? Next, you also want to remember your conclusion could be more than one paragraph. Okay, I like to always tell students a paragraph is between 5 to 7 sentences. But the more, the better. The more information you have, the better it is, as long as your details and ideas are specific and not irrelevant. Okay? You just want to make sure that you have all these things in order to proceed with your conclusion. Additionally, you want to be aware of plagiarism. Plagiarism is a huge violation here at UMA. In addition to other academic institutions across the country, it's very imperative that if you are using sources, use your handbook and check your quotations, paraphrases. Are you integrating sources correctly? Do you have a works cited page, which is the last page of your essay? Okay, so like I always say, you want to make sure that you are citing your sources directly within your writing, in addition to the cite page at the end, or your reference page, or your works cited page at the end. This is basically telling your reader where you got all your information from, and you're referencing these sources in order to also protect yourself. Any information that's not yours, any writing that's not yours, any words that you didn't write yourself, if you are copying, pasting that, it is considered plagiarism. If you are using a reference or you're using another source to get your information for your writing and you're not citing it, that is plagiarism. Okay, so you want to be very, very careful and beware of plagiarism. It's a major violation, and it can lead up to expulsion from the institution. Okay, so be really, really diligent about checking for plagiarism. Make sure, again, if you're using a source that you would like to use a quote, make sure you're quoting it. If you want to use a source out of a textbook or a newspaper article, make sure you're quoting the sentence that you're using and then cite where you actually got it from. Okay, that's always good to cover yourself. Yeah, I'd rather you oversight than not citing enough. So keep that in mind. Okay. And again, don't steal from other writers. Okay. You don't want to steal from other writers. Many times, you know, there have been plagiarism um, violations when students actually did not intend to plagiarize, but it happens all the time. So as you reread and going through your paper, just make sure that every sentence is yours. A sentence that you're using from somewhere else, make sure you're citing it. That's all you need to do in order to protect yourself, okay? All right, the next part, guys, is get feedback. You want to get someone else to look at your work before submitting it. There are a lot of resources that you have here in UMA to assist you. Number one, you can go to the Writing Center. You're able to email the Writing Center for direct feedback in your writing. We go over punctuation, errors, spelling, the tone, sentence structure, just to make sure that we're on the right page and give you some additional information in order to achieve your best essay. Okay. You also can create a work peer review group with your classmates. Maybe you guys can work together as a team and actually, hey, read over this for me. What do you think? Am I missing anything? Are there any grammatical errors within my writing? Is there anything that you don't understand? Doing type of activities this way, proactive activities, will allow you to modify um, errors or issues within your writing that you're able to fix before turning it in order to achieve a higher grade. Okay, you also can ask a friend to read your paper aloud. Okay, just to make sure it sounds good to you. Sometimes reading it ourselves sounds totally different when someone's reading it to us, especially if it's our work. And then you also want to contact your instructor to discuss your work. So again, if you want to proactively reach out to your instructor and say, "Hey, can you read this for me?" Then see what's going on with it. They can give you some feedback, not too much detail, but some feedback in order to ensure that you're going direct, progressing in the right direction. Okay. Also, the last point where it says contact your instructor here, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to them proactively. Okay. So if you need assistance on your writing for an assignment that's due in week 4, it's probably best that you reach out to your instructor before the assignment is due. Okay. That way you're able to get as much help and attention you need rather than waiting to after the assignment is due and then asking for assistance. Either way, you'll still get assistance, but it benefits you better if you're able to be proactive in your outreach to your instructors because they can, like I said, give you more feedback before the assignment is due. So you have time to actually modify what you need to correct. All right. Okay. And then next, we're going to talk about the final draft. You want to make sure that you revise your work. You want to make global changes, tweak the organization, and or delete information as needed, change, tweak the thesis statement. You want to edit your work, make cosmetic changes, check your grammar and spelling, and you want to read your essay one more time just in case. Okay, so again, you want to make sure that you have tweaked all of the mechanics of your writing. You want to tweak the organization, make sure that your paper flows correctly with your body paragraphs, including your introduction and conclusion paragraph, and you want to delete any information as needed. So any irrelevant information or facts as you're writing that does not necessarily need to be in your writing, you need to remove it. Okay, you only want to give information that's actually needed or add as many details as possible, but just make sure that none of your details are relevant. Okay. In addition, you want to again make cosmetic changes. It's important to check your grammar and check spelling. I suggest that a resource that many of you can use is Grammarly. I think it's free of charge for the standard, but it's a great tool to use to check your grammar and spelling. You can also hit F7 on your keyboard, and that will do a spell check. But you still want to make sure that you're reading even after you complete your spell check because some words and some names do not appear in the dictionary, so it won't catch it. So you just want to make sure that you're revising all your work and putting it where it needs to go. Okay.